Welcome back to another installment of r/Pettyrevenge, where small victories can be just as good as big victories. If you enjoy these Reddit stories and would love to see more, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I post videos 3 times a week, and with your help, I'll eventually be able to post videos daily for you guys. Our first story was posted by MandalorianCat. My mom asked for her car back. My brother has been using my mom's car for 2 years. I restored the car and built it into a fast car. Last week, she asked for her car back because she needed it for her boyfriend to use, and said that my brother wouldn't be getting it back. And since all the parts I installed on the car are still my property, wheels, drivetrain, interior, top half of the motor, and exterior front end, I just had them uninstalled and had the car shipped to her, and I bought a car for my brother to use in the meantime. Edit. I just want to clear up some things. My mother verbally and physically abused me for years and kicked me to the curb when I was 14 years old to live with my homeless father. When my brother received the car, it only had a roof, quarter panels, a chassis, and an engine block, along with some rusted out piping. I returned everything that came with the car back to my mother. And when I returned the car to her, it had freshly finished bodywork corrections and was freshly painted. I am currently 16 and my brother is currently 17. I own my car and his current car. Damn, all I can say is this is a revenge that I can stand by. And to be kicked out at 14 and to own 2 cars by 16? OP, you definitely have your life together, more than most adults. Our next story was posted by Dumb Sugar Plum. She put ramen in his coat pocket. My sister, 35-year-old, and her new boyfriend, 30 years old. They had been dating for a month before quarantine, or at my 55-year-old mom's house during the pandemic. My mom is getting pretty frustrated because her youngest, me, has left the nest and she likes having the house to herself. My sister's boyfriend is gross. He doesn't wash his hands. He leaves mysterious stains all over the carpets and floors. He has some sort of infection/open wound on his wrist that he doesn't cover or clean. He doesn't shower, and he doesn't clean his plates before putting them in the sink with no garbage disposal. With all of his hygiene issues, he'll still do things like reach into a new bag of bread my mom bought without washing his hands, having an open wound, and he had just gotten back from the hospital for the 3rd time in 2 days because of his wound. My mom's about to lose her mind being there with them. Going back to the dishes thing, he doesn't clear his dishes. And she has told them several times, clear off your plates or do your own dishes. He doesn't do either. After a week of these soggy noodles sitting in a bowl in the sink, my mom had enough. His coat was sitting on a chair in the kitchen, so she took the ramen out of the bowl and stuck it in his coat pocket. Then she washed all the dishes in the sink. He grabbed his coat a bit later to leave and go to his friend's house to smoke the devil's lettuce with a bunch of his friends during a pandemic. And she just smiled and waved him out the door. OP, your mother is one brilliant petty lady. I would have never thought to put soggy noodles into his jacket. Just imagine his reaction when he's at his friend's house and someone asks for a lighter. And he puts his hand in his pocket and all he finds is soggy ramen noodles. Absolutely brilliant. Our next story was posted by Akkadian Wizard. Sniffin' things. Years ago, when I got married, my dad gave me my grandmother's wedding ring to give to my wife. The ladies were admiring my wife's ring when my aunt, who's known to be a class of C, my dad's sister, saw my wife's wedding ring and became visibly upset. She grabbed her things quietly and left the reception. Of course, we all noticed. When I asked my dad about it later on, he told me the following story. Your aunt was a spoiled brat. She treated my parents terribly. She ostracized herself from the family because she wanted nothing to do with us. She felt that my parents owed her everything and anything that they could give her in regards to money and support. My parents were great people. Her problem was that years ago my mother refused to buy her a new car even though my sister could afford it. My parents offered to buy her a used refurbished car, but my sister's argument was that there's nothing like the real thing. There was a big family argument where she cursed them all out and she abandoned the family for around 10 years. Years later, as my mother started to become ill, my sister wouldn't visit her once. Towards the end, where we knew she had little chance of living or going on, my sister suddenly showed up. One night while going to the bathroom, I heard a noise in my mom's bedroom, and there was my sister trying on my mom's rings. One of them was my mom's wedding band that she had always wanted. When I asked my mom later about it, she said that my sister had always wanted that ring, but my mother didn't want her to have it because she knew that deep down she was still a spoiled, nasty person, and she felt that a ring that was given to her out of love should go to someone else out of love. And the only person she could think of was her grandson. She wanted that ring to go to her grandson's new wife when he got married down the road. My dad then proceeded to tell me that he borrowed the wedding ring and took it to a jeweler friend of his. They were buddies since high school. He asked his friend if he could make an exact duplicate of that ring, but with cubic zirconia and fake stones that go with it. When my grandmother passed away, my dad went to her room and exchanged the ring for the real one. He said, "I knew that female dog would come sniffing." Sure enough, the same day my grandmother died, my aunt made some excuse to come over to her house saying that she left something there. My dad swung by later, and when he looked in the jewelry box, the ring was missing. Fine. On the day of the wedding, after my aunt saw my wife's new ring, as she was walking back to her table, my dad whispered to her, "Hope you enjoyed your fake ring. There's nothing like the real thing, huh?" Damn, it sounds to me like OP's aunt didn't give a damn about her mother passing away. All she wanted to do was rummage through her mother's belongings and steal the one thing that she's always wanted. Good thing your dad is a smart man and had a replica created, because it would have been a shame for her to get her hands on the real thing. Our last story was posted by low_myope. Revenge in front of millions. Growing up in school, I was the victim of bullying. I was fat, nerdy, socially awkward, well-spoken, didn't have the local accent, and had no awareness of anything cool. I was God's gift to bullies. One thing which surprisingly I wasn't bullied about was that I had a severely disabled brother. On more than one occasion, I had one of my worst bullies ask how my brother was doing. Strange how this world works. In one lesson, I was sat with one of the non-bullies. I didn't really know her that well, but she knew about my brother. For the entire lesson, she was making nasty, derogatory comments about him and his disabilities under her breath towards me. I was in pieces and was so upset I couldn't even tell the teacher or my parents. This went on for a few weeks. Every time I sat next to her, I dreaded going to class. Before I knew it, an opportunity for revenge presented itself. Each year in the UK, we have a charitable fundraiser called Children in Need, which raises money for disadvantaged children. I attended a support group for children who were carers for disabled siblings, and the group had been selected for a spot on national TV as one of the success stories. As I was well spoken, I was chosen to have an interview live on national TV, and one of the topics I was asked about was bullying. I couldn't believe my luck. So I named and shamed the girl who had been bullying me all those weeks. Needless to say, on the Monday morning, she received quite a severe disciplinary response from the school, probably embarrassed by the negative PR on national TV. And the bullies who had once been my tormentors made her life hell for a few weeks, at least until she eventually apologized to me, at which point I think we all agreed she had learned her lesson. Weirdly enough, I received very little bullying after that. I guess no one wanted to risk being named and shamed on national TV. Hold on a minute, OP, are you sure you put this in the right subreddit? Because this sounds like pro-revenge, not petty revenge. But on a more serious note, who bullies a disabled person? I can understand bullying someone because of their weight, but for disabilities? That's a new low, even for bullies. That concludes this episode of r/Pettyrevenge. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe, as this all really helps my channel grow and pushes me to create more videos. Also, I'll be posting videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, so make sure you turn on notifications to be notified for my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.